In the heart of the wilderness, under a sky vast and indifferent, the air thrummed with a sacred energy. The tabernacle, a dwelling for the divine, had just been consecrated. Awe and reverence filled the hearts of the Israelites. Aaron, the first high priest, stood beside his sons, Nadab and Abihu. They were newly ordained, their hands still tingling with the touch of holy oil, their futures supposedly bright with divine purpose. For 7 days they had remained at the entrance of the tabernacle, preparing, purifying, anticipating the moment they would finally serve the Lord. On the 8th day the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. A fire blazed forth from the presence of the Lord and consumed the burnt offering on the altar. It was a sign, a confirmation of God's acceptance. The people shouted for joy and fell on their faces. The air was electric with a mixture of fear and exultation. This was a power beyond human comprehension, a holiness that was both terrifying and beautiful. The rules were clear, the rituals precise. Every action, every offering had to be performed exactly as commanded. There was no room for error, no space for improvisation in the presence of such overwhelming sanctity. But something shifted in the hearts of Nadab and Abihu. Perhaps it was pride, a sense of entitlement that came with their new, elevated status. Or maybe it was a moment of reckless ambition, a desire to create their own spectacle, to command the divine fire on their own terms. The scripture is silent on their motive, leaving a chilling void where their intentions should be. What we know is what they did next, an act of shocking defiance that would echo through generations. Each took his censer, a small vessel for burning incense, but they did not take the holy fire from the brazen altar as commanded by God. Instead, they put their own fire in them, an unauthorized, unholy flame. It was a strange fire, a fire that the Lord had not commanded. With this profane offering, they placed incense on it and stepped forward, moving towards the Holy of Holies. They were about to present an offering born not of obedience, but of their own will. It was an act of profound arrogance, a trespass against the very nature of God's holiness. Imagine the scene, the hushed reverence of the camp, the lingering scent of the accepted sacrifice, and then these two figures, moving with an unsanctioned purpose. Their censers glowed with a foreign light, an alien warmth in the sacred space. They were priests, sons of the high priest, yet they acted as if the rules did not apply to them. They were about to learn a terrible lesson about the nature of divine holiness. The presence they so casually approached was not a tame, manageable force. It was a consuming fire. And then it happened, swiftly, without warning. A fire came out from the presence of the Lord, but this was not the fire of acceptance that had consumed the earlier sacrifice. This was a fire of judgment. It lashed out, a torrent of divine wrath, and fell upon Nadab and Abihu. In an instant they were consumed, the very life was burned. Out of them, their bodies left as hollow shells before the Lord. Their strange fire was answered by a holy fire, and they died right there, at the threshold of the sacred space they had violated. Silence fell over the camp, a heavy, dreadful silence broken only by the crackling of the altar's flame. Aaron, their father, stood frozen, his joy turned to ash. Moses, his face grim, turned to him and spoke. His voice heavy with the weight of the moment. This is what the Lord spoke, saying, "By those who come near me I must be regarded as holy. And before all the people I must be glorified." There were no tears, no cries of mourning. Aaron held his peace. The cost of disobedience was absolute. The message was brutally clear. The holiness of God is not to be trifled with. It is a terrifying, consuming reality that demands total reverence and perfect obedience. The bodies of Nadab and Abihu were carried away, a solemn, silent procession out of the camp, their story forever a dark warning etched into the memory of their people, a story of a holy fire that burned them alive,